From the Zoomerplex in historic Liberty Village, theZoomer, hosted by Marissa Lennox.
Welcome to theZoomer. I'm Marissa Lennox. Tonight we are honored to have a lineup of incredibly talented Ukrainian artists in our studio. Their music spans a rich spectrum from traditional Ukrainian melodies to contemporary arrangements and classical compositions. Throughout the evening, we'll hear their stories, each one a testament to their resilience and dedication to their craft during a time of immense upheaval. But enough from me. Let's kick it off with our friend and a familiar face, Anastasia Rizikov. You make it look so effortless, and in a leather jacket, no less.
It's not that easy.
It's been a while since we last spoke with you. What have you been up to?
Oh my goodness, it's been over 2 years since I've last been here, just after the beginning of the war. Over the last couple of years, I've been focusing a lot on kind of bringing to light Ukrainian music And I have been fortunate to be surrounded by people who have helped me organize some amazing benefit concerts for Ukraine, and I'm proud to say that we've raised over 40,000 Canadian dollars for victims of the war in Ukraine.
Amazing.
And and just focusing on bringing to light compositions of Ukrainian composers who people have never heard of. So.
And you have a new album.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We are releasing a CD at the end of May with Warner. It is my first time recording for this label. And this CD was made possible by cellist Gauthier Capuçon, who's a very renowned French cellist, and I'll be recording the CD with Lisa Strauss, who's a friend and colleague. And yes, on this CD there will be works of Ukrainian composers like Skorik, and also I will be recording a solo piece by Lysenko, which you will hear later on in the concert.
Amazing, amazing. So, okay, you're a Ukrainian musician. There's a lot going on in Ukraine right now, as you know. Do you feel like you are part of a broader movement? And if so, how important is music and art in times of war and in conflict?
Everybody tries to play their part. One donates, one might want to bring Ukrainian culture to light, one is on the front. But I think that music is important because it's heard everywhere, and it is a very strong means of bringing awareness to Ukrainian culture and lets people know that Ukraine is an individual country with its own language, with its own culture, which is very different, by the way, from its neighboring Eastern European countries. It's very typical in palette and very typical in color, and it's important that people know Ukrainian music and Ukrainian composers.
Well, let me just ask you this. Do you think when the war is over and we look back, what we will find is a surge of Ukrainian artists and composers on the world stage in a way that perhaps they didn't have an opportunity to shine before?
Absolutely. I think it's starting to happen already. I think that, Ukrainian artists are emerging and showing their presenting their culture to the world. But of course, I think that the movement should continue. I mean, there's so much great music to be discovered.
All right, well, we're ready for more. What's the next song you'll be performing?
I will be performing a typical traditional Ukrainian melody, the Bar Karol by Mykola Lysenko.
All right, the stage is yours. Stick around because we have more incredible artists lined up for you after the break. Welcome back. Up next, we have Bohdan, Kirieiev, Antonina, Laskarzhevska, both of whom fled Ukraine during the war to find refuge here. They're accompanied by composer Jonathan Kravtchenko on the piano. Let's welcome them to the stage. Very powerful. Let me start by asking you this. You both came from Ukraine during the war. What were the circumstances around you leaving Ukraine and coming to Canada? We'll start with your stories. Bohdan, you first.
It's not easy when you leave your home for everyone. And of course, I left my sister there, my grandmother there still. I'm from Kiev region. So I saw a lot of towns, cities, villages, they are destroyed. So of course it was hard to see for me and hard to live. Yeah, but like what I decided to myself that I'm strong, I can deal with it. So yeah, and now I'm here.
I can see you getting emotional.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's a very emotional decision to have come here. Antonina, how about you?
Actually, my panic, maybe some feeling inside, started maybe a week before the war started, when the embassies of foreign countries asked their citizens to leave the Ukraine. I was asleep maybe about 3 or 4 a.m. And then when the bombs started, I did not hear even then because I was so overtired. And my friend called me and she said, "Wake up, do you know that the war started?" I said, what? Once again? The war started, grab your kids and go. And so 2 hours, I packed everything. Thank God that I like big cars and I had a minivan. So I put a lot of belongings. I put my kids. My daughter, at that moment, she was 4.5. And my son, he was 7. And 36 hours. And I finally get the place in Slovakia, where's my good friend. And as well, I asked her before, how about rent, all that. And when we arrived, I even kind of was asleep after because I could not sleep driving. And when I arrived, I was so over emotional, so I probably asleep maybe 6-8 hours after I lay down to the bed. My kids were scared. My daughter, she was crying. She couldn't understand what's going on because I woke up here early morning. My son, he was, is it the war? Really? What happened? Why? I said, no worries. It's something happened. Just let's go outside and we will wait and we'll come back. So I tried to not to, it was so hard not to show my emotions, what was inside. And I stopped to put some gas in my car and I remember that I closed the door and I started back to them and I started crying. And then everything is fine because they should see, goosebumps, because they should see their mom strong and trusted everything. Because, well then, welcome to Canada.
Well,
People here is so hospitality.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And you guys are sticking around. You'll be performing another piece, but we need to take a quick break. So we'll be right back. Stay with us. Jonathan, you wrote and you composed both of the pieces that we just heard, and he's 19. Now, these are pieces from an opera that you wrote and composed as well, Tango for Two. Tell me the theme of the opera.
Well, Tango for Two is, we considered our great Canadian opera, and it's a theme about a sailor. He arrives in Nova Scotia, falls in love with this beautiful girl, has to make a decision. Does he stay with the Navy, goes back home, or does he stay in Nova Scotia, stay with the girl that he's fallen in love with? So obviously the opera culminates in this big decision moment. He obviously, love wins over, and he decides to stay in Nova Scotia. So that's the love theme that's explored in the opera.
So tell me, what inspired you to write this?
Well, we started off with a base of East Coast poetry, stuff that was written from Nova Scotia, really like maritime stuff. And the plot over time developed. We developed this whole tango element. They fall in love while dancing a tango. So you can picture almost a starry night, and they're dancing the tango on a boardwalk. So all of that kind of came together, and then all of a sudden, 2 years later, here we have it, the final product.
What did you set out to do when you started on this journey?
Well, first of all, I think opera is obviously it's a huge genre in and of itself. We have so many great composers, but the one thing that's missing is we don't really have Canadian opera. We don't really have any Canadian composers that are writing for opera. And so we decided to develop this new style. It incorporates dance in the opera. So dance is a big part of the story. And so that was really the catalyst for everything.
And how did you come to be connected with these two incredible artists here?
So,
you can gloat a little. They're pretty impressive.
Well, Bohdan obviously has a national medal for a reason, and as you heard, his voice is just amazing. And Antonina, same thing. I mean, from the opera theaters in Ukraine is just amazing. I remember we were doing the casting and hearing both of them. I think we just ended it right there. The second we heard both of them, that's it. We can call it a day.
An easy decision.
Easy decision, yeah. And it was great, obviously, working together.
For sure, yeah.
It was great working together, too, because my family background being from Ukraine and from Donetsk, because I'm first generation here in Canada. So obviously going back to roots and working with people who are from your homeland is obviously also a big factor.
So tell us where our audience can view the full opera.
So we're in Toronto, May 5th and 17th, here at Trinity St. Paul's Centre, and you can get tickets at tangofor2.com.
Well, I just want to say a huge thank you for sharing your talent with us, and all the best in your future endeavors. Coming up next, we've got a Ukrainian Bandurist chorus. Stick around. Welcome back to theZoomer. Up next, we have the Bandura Capella, each member performing on the bandura, a traditional Ukrainian instrument with 65 strings. Without further ado, the stage is yours.
Уля
Oksana, wow. A lot of people in our audience may not be familiar with this instrument. Tell me about its significance. Of course, it's the traditional Ukrainian instrument.
That's right. Bandura is a very unique Ukrainian national instrument that has a very long history, deep Ukrainian roots, and has historical and religious significance as well. It's always referred to as the soul or the voice of the Ukrainian nation. So the first mention of existence of any string instrument dates back to 10th century even, but the true ancestor of bandura is kobza, which was a much smaller in size and more circular shaped early instrument that resembled a lute. And that was a very popular instrument in Western Europe at that time. The blind minstrels would travel the country from village to village playing kobza, the authentic instrument, and they would sing epic ballads and historical religious songs about the pain and the suffering of the people. And because of its very deep ties to Ukrainian culture during the Soviet Union times, while Joseph Stalin's regime was in place, a lot of bandurists were persecuted. And so it does carry a deep significance for us as Ukrainians, this instrument.
And it sounds like, this is the kind of instrument that would really give you a deep connection to back home. I mean, how do you feel when you see it laying around the house or when you pick it up to play it?
For sure. It's the instrument, especially now with the war, it's the instrument that gives you hope. When you pick it up, it just feels like not only have the connection to the heritage, the old heritage, because there's such a long history here, but it also gives you connection to maybe friends, relatives of people that are in Ukraine, or to the dear places we all love and cherish. So, but it also makes you, playing bandura, I feel like it just makes you move forward. There is a hope and there is a faith that there is a bright future for Ukraine.
I love that. Now tell me about Bandura Capella. It was started by your mother.
That's right. So when my mom came here, she always had a dream to establish a group because she was a renowned teacher and a renowned artist of Ukraine. So when she came to Canada to live permanently, her dream was always to do the same thing, to have a career where she could teach and just pass along the knowledge and the culture of Ukraine, to preserve it here and have the next generation of bandurists take it over.
And speaking of next generation, your
daughter? Speaking of next generation, my daughter is here. She's part of the group, the second one on the right.
There she is. All right.
So I do like to say that I would like to continue the legacy of my mom because she's done a lot, and it's a nice thing to continue this.
What will you be playing next?
Next is a song, Ukraine Comes to God, to ask the question, didn't I pray enough? Didn't I beg you enough? Why are you punishing us? So this is a portrayal, it's a more contemporary song, and it's a portrayal of Ukraine as a strong, powerful woman and a grieving mother of the entire nation. So that's a short synopsis.
Take it away.
Thank you.
перед ляхом боронила православну віру, святий хрестик не зронила в холоднім Сибіру. Дощем збито, в полі жито, нема кому жати, скільки іще сльози лити і синів ховати. Дощем збито, в полі жито, нема кому жати, скільки іще сльози лити і синів ховати. Скільки іще сльози лити і синів ховати. Ангел Божий мовить з неба, скоро день настане. Хто меча підняв на тебе, на коліна стане. Свята правда, воля й воля, твої нові буде. Тільки раду не пробачать і погані люди. Тільки раду не пробачать і
Oksana, that was beautiful. Thank you, and all the best to the Bandura Capella. We need to take a quick break. Don't go away. There's more when we return. Welcome back. Up next, we have trio Lira, who began their journey right here in Toronto 10 years ago. They're here to perform their version of Leonard Cohen's Alleluia, translated into Ukrainian.
Тіні тихі чарівні, мати дитятко колише, тихесенько співає Алілуя. Хай Господь тебе хоронить, красу і мудрість обдарить, усім нам на потіху Алілуя. Пам'ятай, предки твої прийняли правди Божії і в вірі знайшли силу. Алілуя. З Христом з мечем йшли у бій і захищали нарід свій, віддали все з любов'ю. Донечко моя, сильну людей і пам'ятай, ліси, ріки, діброви, алілуя. За правду, волю, золоту, за Україну квіточу, молися щиро, алілуя, 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 алілуя.
Ladies, that was beautiful. So, what is the story of how this song came to be translated?
We actually got the words that were written by the Ukrainian Youth Ensemble in London, England, and it was actually at the beginning of the war in eastern Ukraine in 2014 during the Euromaidan. They thought, let's put a song together for the Ukrainians all over the world to unify us, to make us courageous, to make us proud, and stand for the people that we really are.
So what inspired you to perform it?
To perform it, they're great words. If you understand them, they're really, really heartfelt.
Yeah. I do want to know how your group came to be. 10 years ago it was formed.
Yes.
How did it start?
Okay, Vera?
Well, it was very serendipitous. Roma and Ivanka were singing with another woman at that time, and they had a Christmas gig to do, and the other lady could not make it. So Roma and I used to sing in the past, in our late teens into early 20s in a different trio, and she called me and said, Vera, we need someone. And I actually wasn't even sure whether I would do it, and I thought about it and said, yeah, I'm gonna do this, it'll be fun. And that was it. And what was really cool about it was that we just clicked musically. You know, our voices, and it was, yeah, it just felt like it was meant to be.
And the rest is history?
The rest is history.
All right, well,
Yeah.
Roma, Vera, Ivanka, all the best. Thank you for performing your craft today.
Thank you.
It has been a night of incredible performances and sadly must come to an end. As we wrap up, I want to extend a heartfelt thanks to all of our guests and our performers for sharing their talent with us. And as always, to you at home for watching. To get in touch, you can send us an email at comments@thezoomer.com. Until next time, it's time to zoom out.